bottleneck, building a fizzer. Both wanna be right, lose sight, can't cut with one blade in a scissor. Are you willing to go away when I want you to stay?
Hello, everyone out there. You've done it against the grimmest of odds. You have found yourself here in the Kick the Cool crosshairs, and it's a great place to be.
That was the purple guy on...
Grimace.
Kick the Cool is the place that you are. I'm your little brother, Wopsle.
I'm your big sister, Shishi.
And I am your big little brother, Tone.
And this is the place...
Tone. I'm sorry.
that.
Oh, boy. We got a good energy going today.
Yeah, well, I'm a little off. Maybe right now, particularly. Well, this is the only time I've been able to find this week to do my Animal Crossing tasks. And so, I just wanted to really be able to get in there. And I figured you guys could carry the show without me as long as I could get these tasks done on Animal Crossing.
Okay.
So, because remember how like, Tom Nook didn't even bother this time. Hey, remember how like whenever you were young and you loved chores and homework and you never had enough of either one of them?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Totally.
Well, then you can pick up Animal Crossing and you have more of those than you could ever imagine, basically.
Awesome.
So, yeah. So, like Tom Nook's got me going around digging up treasures and catching fish. Last night I had to stay up late because I had to catch a tarantula. And so I just walked around my Animal Crossing island hoping to find a tarantula. And so
yeah,
trying to find time to squeeze in all this Animal Crossing is really affecting my real life in negative ways. So did you guys ever play any Animal Crossings back in the day?
I've never played Animal Crossing, but my oldest son, Cameron, who you all know, he loves Animal Crossing, but he plays it on the DS, so it's not the newest one. So he's always talking about Tom Nook.
Yeah. Tom Nook's a scoundrel, and you can tell him I said so.
Okay, I will.
But, here's what it is. There's about 4 things you have to do on your island every day. It takes about 10 minutes, and they're not fun. And there's also nothing else to do after you've done that 10 minutes of work.
Nice strategy, Animal Crossing.
So,
yeah, and yet people are playing it.
I mean, I'm doing it instead of hosting this podcast. So it's obvious.
Right.
Yeah. It also does this thing where, like, if you upgrade your house, you go pay Tom Nook a bunch of money, you upgrade your house, and then he says, cool, when you wake up tomorrow in real life, it'll be there. Like, what video games make you wait real life days? I got stuff to do. It's the worst.
So it's in real time. That's pretty interesting.
It is in real time, yes. So if you want to catch a tarantula at night, you have to be up in the middle of the night.
Oh, wow.
It's a mess. Tone, you never played any Animal Crossing?
I never did. I don't even, until now, I didn't know anything about it. I had heard of it, but I didn't know what it was. To me, it sounds like at least part of it is what were those little pets that were around in like the 90s?
The Tamagotchis.
Yeah, but weren't they called something else?
There's a Neopets too for a while.
Neopets, right? So it sounds like it's kind of that. It sounds like that so far when you're describing it.
You know what's funny? If you remember Tamagotchi or Neopets, you remember how they weren't all that fun?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Animal Crossing's like take the fun out of Tamagotchi and what's left is Animal Crossing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sold me on it. Sold.
So basically you have a pet rock.
Yes.
What you're saying.
It's kind of a digital pet rock is what you're doing with
you have to throw every day.
With a mean
That's
Tom Nook.
It's like, God, that's a real job.
Yeah, they'll be like, hey, we want to put a museum in town. All right, I guess you're going to be deciding where it goes. And it's like, I don't have the qualifications for this, you guys.
Right.
So it sounds to me like a cross between the old Sim City, where you have to, you're the mayor and you have to do all the buildings and everything and make the city. And then maybe a cross between that and Stardew Valley and Farmville.
I mean, but you're talking about 3 fun games, and that's what's hard is.
But why are they fun? They're work too. All you're doing is chores.
There's actually
all of them.
Maybe so. There's no negative ramifications. You can't mess up in Animal Crossing. You can't do anything bad.
That's good.
Oh, okay.
Now wait, well, there's no punishment for if you don't tend to your crops or whatever, like on Farmville, you would lose the crops after a certain amount of time. There's nothing like that?
No, here's the deal. The only downside is like you can only get 3 fossils per day. There's 3 fossils on your island every day. So if you don't get them today, you just missed out on those 3. And then tomorrow there's 3 different ones. So that's the only thing is if you miss out, you just didn't get them for that day.
This sort of sounds like a funner version of Merge Dragons.
Maybe.
There's no ramifications on that one either, and all you're doing is work.
Okay, yeah, that might be better.
She, when the only tool you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Okay, and I think that might be happening here.
Okay, well, cool. Well, during that time of us talking about it, I finished digging up all 3 fossils, so we can move on with this podcast. So, of course, we're here to review things, give you the reviews you didn't know you needed. And Shishi, you're up first this week. What do you got for us?
I have a listener suggestion from new listener Jules M. And Jules suggested that we review the supply chain.
Oh,
deep. We're getting deep, folks.
Talk about deep.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is, I'm going to throw it to Tone. Tone, what do you got to say about the supply chain?
The main thing is, like, what's your bumper situation? Because you can hook a chain onto a bumper and think that you've hooked it in a good place where you can pull this car out of the snow.
Mm-hmm.
But what sometimes happens is you just hook it onto a piece of plastic and it just jerks that sucker right off there.
I think that's what's happened with our supply chain in America. That's the exact situation. Tone, you are on fire today.
About it. I'm on it. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I feel good. I look good.
Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know if you can top that, Wopsle, follow that. What do you think about the supply chain?
Yeah, well, I was thinking of the links in the chain maybe are breaking. And maybe we should tell this for, 30 years when inevitably they're rebuilding civilization by listening to this podcast. We should make it clear that there are a lot of supply chain issues in the world right now. And everything, like Chipotle might not have their oregano rice because of the supply chain. And so it's like every problem people are just blaming the supply chain. And so that's why it's kind of topical now. But I always kind of thought it was like, links in the chain. But it's kind of breaking my mind that like, what if the bumper of America, we just attached it to the plastic and it just ripped right out of there so fast. So the rest of the chain is just going down the road, not even looking back to see that America's not attached anymore.
And exactly traffic's what's backed up behind it.
Yes.
Behind that bumper in the road.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
so helpful right now.
I know, right? So we're all kind of getting used to using paper straws instead of the regular plastic straws you're used to. We live in an area of the country that still loves our plastic straws. Mm-hmm. So when we get paper straws, it's an adjustment. Like your mouth sticks to them, it's they worst. Taste funny. They're thick and you can't bite them. Really, they get mushy. So, we're getting used to just stores being closed and reopen, early and reopen the next day. And then
empty shelves. We're seeing a lot of empty shelves.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had a snowstorm and, it was like there wasn't that much on the shelves anyway. Well, then they were completely empty after that snowstorm. Right. So I am especially cognizant of these issues because I work in a bookstore on a college campus. And I am in charge of ordering. Books are okay, but the merchandise part of the store, when I'm ordering clothing, all of the reps that I've talked to have said, order everything for the year right now because you will not get it if you order at your normal times or even a couple of months ahead. You got to order for fall right now. So how do I know what's going to be popular in fall? I don't know. So I just have to kind of.
Have you tried to look to read a Farmer's Almanac? That might help.
The Farmer's Almanac online version?
Did they tell you what fashions will be cool for college kids in the fall? I mean, is that part of it?
They do. They tell you what books you're going to need. Mm-hmm. Yeah. They tell you, is it going to snow? how the crops are going to do. They
The
tell you a
phases
lot
of the
stuff.
moon.
Phases
And
of the moon. Yeah.
whether crops are still going to be fashionable in fall. Crop sweatshirts right now. So, yeah, that's
Kids
really
come
what
back-
I need to know.
Kids come back to school in the fall and they're like, there's just crops on all these, just a sweatshirt with an ear of corn on it. And that's not cool at all.
Got it from the almanac, kids.
They see you over there at the register looking through the almanac and they're like, huh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The supply chain, I think that I could have described what I thought it was, like in its simplicity, but everyone's claiming supply chain and like telling you better get ahead of the game. But like I remember back in like even October, I remember Target saying, if you want your toys, you better buy them now. Supply chain. And I was just like, so Target's telling me to buy more toys and buy them now.
Yeah.
Seems like there might be ulterior motives here than just supply chain.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm not really sure which parts to trust and who's really trying to look out for me versus who's trying to look out for themselves.
Right.
Let me go real deep here. Did you know that this is going to just get funnier by the second? The more I talk, the funnier it's going to get.
Yeah.
Did you know that the supply chain basically gives companies an excuse to say we're going to raise our prices because of the problems with the supply chain.
Right.
We now have to charge more because we're losing business or whatever because of the supply chain.
Yes.
And so that is causing inflation problems.
Yes.
Which is causing us to the Fed and all this stuff. They're really freaking out about what to do with inflation because of the supply chain as well. So
yes. And that has affected me in my little store too.
Right now, are you seeing a price increase, She?
Oh, everything that we're ordering is higher. Everything. So yeah, nobody's really complained about it though. So not at my store. I'm complaining, but they're not.
Well, have you seen the price of meat in the Walmart?
Yeah.
Gee.
In the Walmart. Yeah. Which Walmart? Yeah. No. I'm just.
Can I give you guys a specific thing that has stuck in my mind from early pandemic that maybe you guys, we're solving a lot of problems here, answering a lot of questions. Early in the pandemic, I went to I think it was Walmart, it happened to be, and they were out of fishing poles. And I said, why is everybody buying fishing poles? They said, supply chain. You don't got enough fishing poles.
Well, did they not say everybody's freaking out and thinking it's the end of the world, so they got to get their prepping on?
Is that
That's
was
what I
doomsday prepping? People were like, I'm going to have
Yeah.
to fend for myself and fish for my own fish. It could be.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe it is end times.
I kind of think it's like this. It's like, have you ever been in a store, or maybe you're sitting there and you're looking at the meat and someone is like, "Ooh, these steaks are pretty good." And you pick them up and you're like, well, if they got those steaks, maybe I should look at those steaks too. And then a couple other people get them. And then all of a sudden everyone's like, it's a mad dash for the steaks. And so like everyone's running. They make an announcement over the intercom and are like, get your steaks now or die with regret. And so everyone's running like crazy to the checkout. And all just because one person was like, these steaks seem pretty good. Sometimes I think that's the supply chain. That's the plastic bumper on America's supply chain is
Freaking
seeing
out.
someone else and having FOMO, and then it's like a manufactured frenzy. That's what it is.
That's what supply chain means.
It's FOMO. That's it.
You see a person buying 2 bags of Cool Ranch Doritos, and you're like, they must have stopped production on Cool Ranch Doritos. The last bags ever are in this store. Run, go down to the QT and get them whatever they got. We got to get the Cool Ranch.
I love that you had them even over the loudspeaker at the store. Run, everybody, run!
And that's supply chain.
That's supply chain. Wow, that was so helpful.
Nailed it.
So
Got it
helpful.
one.
Jules, I think that might have been the most helpful suggestion we've ever gotten from a listener.
Yes.
Probably the funniest too.
the most
Thank
helpful
you, Jules.
we've been.
That was hilarious.
Hilarious. Okay, so let's rate
I like
the
to
supply
pretend.
chain. Oh,
I like to pretend Jules is prepping for like a college final.
A doomsday prepper.
about the supply chain. Like she's taking an economics class. And
Kick the cool. Tell me what's going on. I'm going to ace this test.
We're kind of like the Daily Show. You come here for your comedy, but you also come here for the news.
You come here for the
you
news.
get a little of both.
All right, Jules, pay attention because here come the ratings. Tone, rate the supply chain.
Ooh, the supply chain. 4 out of 5, unbroken links.
Okay.
Wow, that's pretty good for the state of the supply chain today.
No, I'm saying like that's how bad it is. It's the higher, the better the rating.
The worse the topic
the
is.
worse the supply chain is. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wopsle, what do you rate the supply chain?
You know, I'm always worried about supply chain. I think I'm going to have to rate it 1 out of 2 lifetime regrets. Looking back,
Lifetime regrets.
Yeah, looking back, wishing you had bought those fishing poles because they don't exist anymore because of the supply chain, and you should have. Sad that your kids will never experience the taste of Coca-Cola Classic because they stopped making it because of supply chain. And
Right.
you can't get that back. It's lifetime regret.
I thought your lifetime regret was going to be reviewing the supply chain.
I would say that might be my lifetime triumph, actually, is I think the 3 of us together have really, this might be on our tombstone.
That's right. That's very true.
My tombstone's going to say loving father, caring husband, understander of supply chain.
Understander. What do you do for a living? I'm an understander.
Only of the supply chain.
I really get it.
I really get it.
Oh, all right. Well, I am going to rate the supply chain $425, which is the actual cost that I was charged for a box of vellum letterhead.
Whoa. 425 of those suckers.
Yeah. Luckily, it had some issues on like in the printing, so I was able to send it back.
Ooh, man.
Luckily for me, not for them. Okay.
I heard your I heard your nerd come through right there. See, like you're.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I wish I had braces right now.
Oh, well, good thing is podcasts are an audio format, so you can, and you do.
Imagine what I would look like with braces, and I'm showing those suckers too.
Yeah. All right. Well, what a great topic. Man, we are helpful around here. And thank you again, Jules, for sharing your
thanks,
request.
Jules.
So, yeah, that's great. Tone, we're halfway through this episode, and I don't know what's happening. So, let's continue this insanity. What do you have for us to review?
Today, I want to review something that has always been important to me. It's always been a big deal. Movie trope pet peeves.
That's a really meaty topic.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll go ahead and list off the ones that I thought of. The one that gets me, and I tried to stick to this, but it's really hard because it happens in every single movie ever made. If in the movie there is ever someone dangling by one arm, I'm gone. I stop the movie immediately, and I quit. I'm serious. And I quit watching it because that makes me so mad. Because first of all, no one can hold their whole weight on their fingers.
Especially if you're it's usually just a regular person. It's not an action star. A lot of times it's just a regular person.
And they're not holding on to a handhold. They're holding on to a flat surface.
To a flat surface, a ledge. Yeah, we should all go
broken
and
off
try
concrete ledge. Right? It's crumbling.
Yes. And not only that, but they're coming down with their full weight. And they're able to catch themselves with their fingertips.
Yes.
Please.
But then they go from 4 fingers to 3 fingers. And then 3 fingers to 2 fingers. And it's like, Wile E. Coyote can get away with that. But other than that, we got to stop.
And then someone comes and throws their hand down and they're able to hoist themselves up over this, like, just sheer ledge, even though both of them are, like, in their mid-40s. never worked out a day in their life. Somehow they're able to pull themselves up.
Yes, you'll watch for it. You'll be surprised at how many movies actually do this. You can't have an action movie without that happening at least once.
Mm-hmm.
I've got flying through the air from an explosion.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're running, you know it's going to explode. When it does explode, it lifts you up into the air and throws you, and with such force, and you land and you're all right because you cleared.
And you're all right. You just hit my biggest pet peeve, which is you're getting knocked around by a superhero or hit with a lead pipe or thrown 50 feet from an explosion or hit by a car or any number of things, and you get up and walk away. And not only that, but you're still in fighting form. You're just ready to start wailing again.
Okay. I'll bounce off of that one and say whenever people get shot. A lot of times somebody will get shot in like the shoulder and they'll be like, oh, I'm going to die. And then the next thing they're like, I'm okay. It hurts, but I'll be all right.
And I can even punch with this arm. I can even lift things. I can hold myself up on a cliff with this arm. I can dangle from a cliff with this shoulder that I just got shot in and was like, couldn't use. But now I can use it.
It's fine now. It's been a minute.
I just watched a recent superhero movie, and at the end is one of those deals where the two people are looking at each other, and then the villain comes back and stabs one of them like up through where the sword comes up through them when you look at their face. Like if anything in the movie is death, it's that, right? So then of course they all get mad and then they kill the villain, and after the villain's gone, then they go and pick up the guy that just got stabbed. Like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna make it. And I was like, he got that death blow, like that one that you know is death, but no, he's fine.
Finish him. No, I'm okay. It was just a flesh wound.
That's fine. We'll go back in and reattach. It's no big deal.
Well, so you have is your whole list like action movie tropes, or do you have other tropes on there?
I think it's actually action movies because, this could be a horror movie, I guess. Anytime that there is a person running and a car is chasing them, they don't run between buildings and jump over walls. And they run right down the middle of the street. Oh no, the car's coming after me, you know? So that doesn't have to be an action movie, you know?
Yeah. The best thing they'll do is serpentine, but still staying in the street. And the car's just like, okay, well now it's slower. Like you're still going the same speed, the same distance.
Yeah.
Now my favorite one is definitely an action movie trope, and it is the ease with which you can break someone's neck.
Yes.
By twisting their head. You can walk up to someone, just put your hand on the top of their head. I'd say give it about a 2-degree swivel. Like, they're done. They're out. They're dead.
When I was like 8 to 15, like Steven Seagal movies and Jean-Claude Van Damme movies were really big. So this is no lie. I was afraid of accidentally breaking someone's neck someday. Because I was like, if I take my hat off and put it on someone's head jokingly and like straighten it up for him, I might kill him. That might be the end. So
yes,
I'm totally with you, Toad. It's like at least like the Vulcan death grip like had like a weird, otherworldly thing to it. When it's just an action dude that left his job at the bakery to go fight to get his daughter back. He's just cracking necks. That was a real fear of mine growing up.
That's the best one. The only other one that I had was how easy it is to knock someone unconscious and not worry that you might have killed them. Like anytime you take the butt of your gun and you go bonk and they're out. And okay, cool. He's going to be out for probably about 45 minutes.
Yeah. He's going to be out for the remainder of this particular plot point, at least. So we should be good.
So, let's think about other genres then. Okay, so like romance. Do we have any pet peeves in romance movies?
There's one. I found a supercut on YouTube one time. Maybe I can find it and post it to our socials. But of every time in a movie where like the conversation would be done and they're walking away, and then one character would say, "Hey," and the other one would turn around.
Yes.
And they give them like something profound, you know, and that happens, I feel like, in romance movies a whole
Oh
lot.
my. You know what? It
Yes.
happens in a lot of dramas though, because I was watching Night Flyers, the series, and I just finished it yesterday. But when you binge stuff, you know how those little things just kind of jump out at you if they're repeated. And it's
Yeah.
like every single, like twice an episode, someone would say, "Hey," turn around, give them hell or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
And you're like, you could have just shouted after me, give them hell. And I would have like
give 'em
fist bumped
hell.
and I'm gone. You know, you don't
Yeah.
have to wait, make me turn around and look you in the eye.
Just shoot a text. I mean, like,
I want you to know how serious I am, how much hell I want you to give them. Look at me.
look me in the eye when I tell you this.
I just realized that we have a solution for all of these pet peeves that we have. Remember that spray we reviewed a couple episodes ago?
Oh, the pet peeve.
The pet peeve
My
spray.
pet peeve. See, they need action movies. Need someone need a dedicated person on the spray bottle.
Yeah.
Come around and
Every time. Yeah, they're the
You got-
designated sprayer.
you got Arnold. He walks up and he's like, popping people's heads just by barely touching them and killing people. And somebody walks up and sprays him right in the face. No, you stop it.
You stop.
Well, one thing in romance movies that bothers me a lot is when, this is a very well documented pet peeve of a lot of people. And that's when the girl is clumsy and endears herself to the guy, or that's how they meet, like, or that he runs into her with his car, or she does, or she trips and falls, or she breaks her heels, or what, all of that stuff. Why do I got to be the clumsy one?
Right. Well, what I thought you were going to talk about is kind of in that same area. She is whenever, like, especially in those old teen movies, how like a ponytail and glasses can all of a sudden make an attractive girl like hideous and forgettable and like
Yes.
terrible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not to be too
Yeah,
shallow,
no.
but
That's a
every
great
time
one.
I watched one of those movies, I was always like, again, I'm a super big dork, but I was like, I liked her better before. Like she was way better
Yes.
in
Well, and
art
not only that, but suddenly, like, she's shy too with the ponytail and glasses.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, when she's, quote, beautiful, suddenly she's a social butterfly and great in all social situations. So
Right.
how did that
Because
happen?
everybody
She's-
knows that pretty people are, can do no wrong. They're
Right.
just
She
good
was
at everything.
clearly neurodivergent before she put on makeup. But once she put on her makeup and got rid of the glasses that apparently she never needed in the first place, now she's neurotypical. I wish it worked that way.
No, I would be. I'd be taking out my braids every day.
Exactly.
I can't
Yeah.
think of a guy.
Yeah, some-
Your braids.
Contacts.
I can't think of a guy having done that. Like Superman's the closest one to that, maybe, where he puts on a
But he
the
still
glasses
looked
and-
good.
Yeah.
He was still a handsome man that ladies sought after.
Yeah, I was watching a video the other day, and somebody said, "I hate wearing my glasses. It makes me look like Clark Kent." And I thought about how, in my opinion, Clark Kent was a pretty good-looking dude
was-
on
well, yeah.
Christopher Reeve days.
I mean, all of
right?
them have been very
Dean
good looking.
Cain? Yeah,
And
give
dapper.
us some Dean Cain.
Come on,
Yeah. Yeah. Where'd he go?
come
We need
on,
some
Dean.
more Dean. The name Dean
All right.
cracks me up.
Well, I think that Dean would want us to rate this topic. I think so. Let's go ahead and rate it. Wopsle, what do you rate movie trope pet peeves?
I apologize to all of our Kick the Cool listeners because I rate movie trope pet peeves 100% of movie experiences ruined going forward.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Tony.
I ruined your day.
Especially action movies are only going to be able to be watchable if you do it Mystery Science 3000 style, where it's like you're kind of joking about it and making fun of it the whole time.
I wish we had delved more into science fiction tropes too, because there's just a ton in the every genre has it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to revisit this.
We'll get
one
that on the
the
revisit,
The
yeah.
revisit.
Yeah, I
episode,
think
yeah.
we need to do that. Yep.
Shishi, what do you rate movie trope pet peeves?
I'm going to rate movie trope pet peeves 9 out of 10 hideous ponytails.
Like, that's the worst ponytail ever. What a terrible pony.
Get this girl out of my classroom. That pony.
She's so ugly. Look at how ugly she is.
How can she learn with a ponytail like that?
How can anyone else in
Distracting
class?
everyone.
How can anyone in class learn with this ponytail?
That ugly ponytail. All right. Well, I'm going to rate movie trope pet peeves 4 out of 5. I know it's going to be 4 out of 5, but I don't know what it's going to be. Let's see. 4 out of 5 accidental murders when trying to knock someone out. You know, because I mean, you can't know the exact amount of pressure to put on the butt of the gun to hit somebody in the perfect spot. You know,
How much practice does it take? How many people were accidentally murdered when you just thought you were knocking them out?
Okay, so here's another thing. It's when everybody, like, you've got 3 stars in a fight and they've got like 6 other people with them, but you don't know them.
right?
Those 6 people, all 6 of them will die. And the 3 come out unscathed. The other 6 are dead. It's the red shirts are dead. Easily.
It's not hard to figure out who's about to croak.
Do you guys remember that deleted scene from the first Austin Powers movie where a henchman died and then that showed someone from the staff of Dr. Evil's lair calling the wife of the henchman to tell her that her husband had passed away? It's so bad and sad, but like, oh yeah, like every single henchman has some kind of story attached to them.
Right. And most of them are probably going to have a family.
Right. They're just a working class, middle class dude trying to make it in the world. All right. Well, what a great topic. Thanks, Tone, for ruining the movies, but I think we'll all better off for it. I really do. But if we're going to pay to see all these movies, we're going to have to go to the 5-star review. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. Well, this week's 5-star review, we're so thankful for all the support and the payment from these guys. We want to tell you guys about Kick the Cool podcast. What do you guys know about Kick the Cool podcast?
That's our sponsor this week?
That's our sponsor this week that paid us, to talk about them.
Okay. Well, we better talk about them.
So let's just say,
Play it straight, he says.
here's something. Let's just say some things that we know for sure about Kick the Cool podcast. What are like some certainties you know about it?
Broke. They're dirt poor.
Because they did not pay us very much for this particular
Right.
ad.
Dumb.
Siblings. Wait, no, we're just
Siblings.
we're just doing single word associations. This is good.
Keywords.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Great
Improv.
ad.
Improv. Slightly. Like,
Parentheses poorly done.
yeah. Poorly done improv.
Right.
That's a good selling point.
Yeah.
Dorks.
We're going to sell the crap out of this.
Oh man. I hope the servers are going to be able to handle how much increased traffic they get from this ad. You know what I think about whenever I think about Kick the Cool is early on, Kick the Cool received this advice, and it was, no one can make you stop recording your podcast. So the idea was like, success is in the eye of the beholder. You can just keep doing it. No network's going to cancel you. And I think that mindset seems to be the central theme to Kick the Cool. It just, no one can make them stop doing it.
No matter how much you plead, beg, no,
You can't.
they're not going to
It's
stop.
working for them.
That's what I love about those people.
Yeah.
On one sincere note, last night I got onto the Instagram and was just when you click on a video, you can like watch it and then just scroll and see every different post. And I just went back watching every snippet from Kick the Cool Instagram, and I was crying, laughing so hard because it's basically like the funniest minute or two from each episode,
Right.
from a long way back, and that's a good time. So for serious, if anybody needs a good time, just go back and look at all those snippets, and it'll make your day good. That was funny stuff. But anyway, what another great ad read,
great sponsor.
from a great sponsor.
Oh.
Yeah.
So go check them out. Thanks, Kick the Cool.
Thanks, Gig the Cool.
When you're left with a stain, you're so damn fed up that you gotta complain. Write a letter, you'll feel better. Reviews.
Okay, well, let's wrap up things today with our last review. It's a big one. It's a good one. It's an important one. We're talking about towels.
Towels.
Oh, we are talking about towels.
Towels. It's already a hard word to say. I think by the end of this review, it's going to be near impossible to say without feeling like an alien from a different planet. But,
Towels. Towels.
Shishi, what do you think about towels?
Towels.
Towel.
And of course, here in Oklahoma, we say towels as if it's spelled Tal. When I think of towels, I think of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I mean, the word towel. Like if I've got a towel in my hand, I think of a shower. But if I see the word towel out somewhere, I think of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy because, as everyone knows, the towel is the hitchhiker's friend.
Yeah, that's fair.
Towels, they're really multi-purpose. I love that, but it seems like people are really all about making sure that their towels are divided properly and used appropriately and never crossover. You can't use a bath towel to clean up, or you're not supposed to clean up your spilled drink on the floor. Like. You got to use a spilled drink towel for that.
A spilled drink towel, yeah. And you have several dedicated spilled drink towels to choose from.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Does everybody do it that way?
But if it's a big spill, like if a pitcher of tea falls out of your hand, then immediately you would go to the beach towels, right? You're not going to even bother with the spilled drink towels.
And
you're
then
going to be like all hands on deck.
I was going to say that. All hands on deck. You got to take the towels where you can get them. Get the biggest ones. It doesn't matter if they're your good towels. You got to get that tea up.
So we so quickly, we have these very defined rules, and we so quickly throw them out, which shows how silly they are.
Have you ever gone to take a shower and realized after you're finished that you forgot to bring your towel with you? Like you have no towel.
So many times.
So then what do? You just stand there? Do you, let me tell you what I did. Because I'm pretty proud of myself for thinking outside the box. I grabbed my hand towel. I used my hand towel. It dried my entire body. It was plenty of towel. Plenty.
Yes.
But it didn't have that ooey-gooey squishiness. How good is a big fluffy towel? Oh, man. Ooey-gooey.
Yeah, I do love a big old fluffy towel. We've got a swimming pool here at our house, and so we have kind of like swimming pool towels that might be just called a beach towel, but it's for swimming pool. And it's the biggest and fluffiest one. So if I'm ever like, I'm going to have a really big time shower, I'm really getting some grime off. Sometimes I'll grab one of those beach towels to bring up here to dry off because I know, it's going to be an even better conclusion to the cleansing experience.
You know what? I'm thinking back, and I don't really have a preference as to the thickness of my towel or the fluffiness or the ooey-gooeyness. But maybe it's because I've never had a really good big fluffy towel.
Now, see, everybody's got to experience the big fluffy ooey-gooey towel. And then what I do personally is I just put on a Snuggie, and it's going to eventually dry all my parts.
Yes.
So you do this before,
Each
like
part.
you're undressed in the Snuggie, sitting on the couch
Right, yeah.
playing your video games.
I have the Snuggie hanging on the hook in the bathroom, and I just get out of the shower. I put on the Snuggie. I walk in there and turn on the TV.
So isn't the back part open on a Snuggie?
It's hospital style, but
Yeah, it's hospital style.
Yeah. That's what we call that when we go out into public. Hospital style.
That's a funny picture to me. You get out of the shower, put your Snuggie on, walk through the house with your bare butt hanging out,
Right.
sit on the couch, don't realize you didn't get it all the way under you. So now you have a wet
So now
spot
you're
on the
getting
couch.
the couch
is
wet.
wet, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably my worst, kind of going back to you talking about sheep, probably my worst offense to getting to the shower without a towel, especially like in a summer camp setting or something where like I'm away from home. Oh, many times have I just dried off with the dirty shirt I just took off.
Oh, I never even thought of that.
It gets the job done, I guess, but like I'm just thinking all this dirt. I just took this off because it was dirty. Now I'm wiping it back on.
In our modern times, how dirty is your shirt really?
Well,
right.
You don't work the fields. It's probably
That's an
fine.
optimistic way to look at it. Yeah.
You don't work the field.
I'm putting this potato residue and, fertilizer and peat moss
Animal
right back
dung.
on me. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm drying myself off with a shirt that is covered in animal dung.
So I guess, really,
I wish I hadn't forgotten my towel.
as long as you're not using a cow patty to dry off, you're fine.
Right. Yeah, my worst offense is the one time I forgot my towel and used a literal cow patty to dry myself.
It was dry. It absorbed really well.
Right.
And then I had to take another shower to get the cow patty off of me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you got to clean up the bathroom. And then by the time you're done cleaning up the bathroom, you're all sweaty again.
Yep.
And you're like, man, I need a shower.
And hopefully you forget your towel. You remember your towel the second time.
Right.
That's
when you
the
forget
key.
your towel twice in a row, that's when it gets bad.
Have you ever
Because you already used the because you already used up the cow patty.
Use the
now
cow
what
patty.
do you do?
Have you ever just stood there hoping that it would just all drip off of you? Then just
If you
kind
stand there
of
long
like
enough, it will.
just kind of. Sometimes I'll just kind of wipe the water off of me. I forget my towel a lot, you guys. And I go in there naked, so I don't have a regular. Like I go from my bedroom to my bathroom with no clothes on, so I don't have my dirty shirt. I have a bath mat, but even I don't think I could bring myself to dry off with my bath mat. I've eyed it before, but I haven't gotten that far. Luckily, my hand towels are usually right there. So
Okay. So let me ask you this: you've gotten done with your shower. You're visiting someone's house, and you get done with your shower, and you grab the towel and you start toweling off, and then you realize there is no bath mat, and all it is linoleum, right? That you're about to have to step on. Do you throw your towel down as to substitute as a mat?
Well, no, I'm trying to think. If you're talking about doing it out of respect for the homeowner, no, that's their problem. They should have put a mat down. But if you're talking about the safety aspect, I have before stood on like a corner or two of the towel while I used the rest of the towel to dry myself off. Mm-hmm. So
Yes.
I'm kind of a safety
That's
meister
genius.
when it comes to it. Try to cover both angles. Because there's nothing worse than slipping. Well, the only thing worse than slipping in the bathroom is doing so in someone else's house where they hear it's loud and did you break something and you come out limping. And
Yeah. Anytime you have to scream, "I'm okay."
Yeah, that's a bad spot to be in.
well, so the way I do it is when, a long time ago, I got in the habit of drying my feet as I'm stepping out of the shower. So like,
Me too.
I'll you dry one foot off, step out, dry the other foot off, step out with that one. That's how I do it. Even with a bath mat, because I don't want my bath mat to be all wet all the time.
You know what's amazing? Is how many things we do in this life as adults that no one ever really told us how to do. We kind of get a vague idea of how to wipe your butt, but you don't. We need certain things to, as an adult, reteach me this thing because I don't know the little ins and outs and specifics. I had to learn all this. Mom said, "Hey, wipe your butt." Okay, that's all she told me. She didn't say fold it into this many squares or get a big clump of toilet paper. And I mean, come on.
Well, you don't remember your toilet training, do you? I mean, she
No.
probably did show you how to do it at one time, but then
Well,
you
I
just
can say
developed
as-
your own.
As a grown man with a 4-year-old, I can tell you, we didn't tell him jack squat, other than good luck. That's the extent of the training.
Go get them.
There's been several things, especially with potty training, that I thought, I don't know a single 20-year-old that doesn't know how to wipe, so he'll probably be fine.
Right.
You know, like I keep on telling myself that about a lot of things. Like he didn't want to go pee on the potty, and I was like, well, I mean, I want him to, but like again, I don't know a 20-year-old that still wears a diaper, so eventually he'll probably be fine.
He'll figure it out.
I've used that a lot. But you're right. But we never come back and compare notes. Just say like, you're obviously doing something and you're operating in society, so you're fine. But how do you do that? We should come together.
I'm going to go ahead and erase the 45 from the days without talking about the bathroom sign, and I'm going to put a big fat 0 on it.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. Bathroom.
Remember, hey, that's another thing too. Remember when all we talked about on this podcast was poop?
I know.
We don't do that anymore.
Right. That's what makes it stand out. That makes it even funnier.
Mm-hmm. Well, once we started sponsoring other podcasts, we had to
clean it up.
Yeah, clean it up a little bit.
Towels. We're talking about towels.
I'm very honest apology that we've talked about towels for 20 minutes, but let's try to rate these towels. You're up first. What's your rating for towels?
I'm going to rate towels 0 out of 10 cow patties.
0.
Because cow patties are bad, right? And I like towels. So
cow patties are bad towels. You heard it here, folks.
Don't use them. No matter how practical it may seem at the time.
The trail that we followed to a towel with some dirt on it, a towel with a little bit of poop on it, just using poop instead of a towel, was a pretty quick jump we did there.
And now it's a rating. You just never know, folks.
Forever be in the inevitable wiki as one of our ratings. Oh, that's good. All right, Tone, what do you rate towels?
I rate towels 4 out of 5 small wash rags that I'm using for a towel.
I have done that too, and it works. It's plenty.
Yep.
It's plenty.
Well, if you've got like 3 washcloths all folded up in a nice little, I'm going to use that for my towel if I forgot my towel.
1.
Yeah.
I've used 1 and it was fine.
Economy. Wow.
You don't have that much water on your body.
One thing that
I couldn't wrap up in it.
One thing that has made that impossible, what you're talking about, using a washcloth to dry your whole body, the supply chain made that impossible.
Yep. I used to do that actually before the supply chain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I'll use cow patties.
There's plenty of those.
No, I dry off with cow shit.
Cow patty shelf is never empty.
Okay, well, I'll probably rate towels. I'll rate towels 30 out of 30 different towels, meaning like hand towel and dish towel and beach towel and good towel. And don't use that towel because it's for guests only. And
don't use that towel.
Don't use towels.
Yeah, don't dry your hands off in the guest bathroom. Instead, drip dry out here in case we have guests.
Wipe them on your pants.
Don't use the towel.
It on your pants.
Lots of towels. Man, categories of towels. We should have had a list of towels. You know what? We'll get that on the revisit.
That's sure. Right.
Okay.
That's right. She will give us a big list of towels.
I'm ready.
Yes.
I think Wopsle did it this time. He did a pretty good list.
A pretty good list? Okay, well, good. We'll as we often do next week, we'll come back and see what we didn't cover this week that we should have. So
that's right.
We'll see you next week for the revisit. But we are done for this week. So thank you all for listening and for having a good time with us. Thanks again to Jules for that suggestion of the supply chain. We hope we helped you. And we hope you get a good grade. And if anyone else would like to send us a topic, you can always do so at reviews@kick.cool or on our socials. Hit us up. Give us some ideas.
And we also want to thank the band Bugs for letting us use the song Reviews as our theme song. And, of course, I mentioned on the last episode that they do have a new album out. It's called Cooties, which, makes sense. Cooties. Bugs, Cooties. Hey. So go buy their new album, and thank you, Bugs.
So as Wopsle mentioned, we have all of our socials, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. We're at Kick the Cool. Lots of lively discussions going on there. Stop laughing.
Out of control. We've lost control over that. So come join the chaos that is our socials if you would like to. But for this time, we are done. So I'm Wop.
I'm She.
And I'm Tone.
All right. Love you. Bye.